a lot has been said about how much hate there is in the world. One thing that is seen as having played a part in the rise of hate is social media, with these platforms often being viewed as breeding grounds for hate. So, as part of an ongoing crackdown on hate, videos and posts have been removed. It doesn't end there, though, as some people have had their profiles removed and been banned from using these platforms. Both worlds, along with what has been going on in the online world. There is what has been taking place in the real world. The mainstream media, for example, routinely talks about different hate crimes that have occurred. Different laws have been put in place to try to stop people from being the victim of one of these crimes. Still, questions have been raised in regards to who gets to define what is or isn't a hate crime. Making it clear anyway, whilst all this has been going on, there has been a focus on how important it is to be tolerant and to treat people with respect. At the very least then, if someone can't be kind to another person, they can just live their life. Ergo, although there is a focus on the importance of being more loving and doing the things that are associated with love, there is also a lot of focus on ending hate. Consequently, it could be said that more is being done, at least publicly, to fight what is not wanted than to create more of what is wanted. Conventional wisdom, this approach, an approach that is not the most effective, can be seen as the logical thing to do. If something is not wanted, the obvious thing to do is to fight against it, and once it has been defeated, to create something else. The reason that this approach is not the most effective approach is that what is resisted is what will both persist and grow. Therefore, although fighting hate sounds right and looks right, it is actually feeding into the very thing that is not wanted. For love, with this in mind, the way to create a more loving world will be for people to be that which they want to see more of and to spend very little time fighting against what they want to see let off. Through doing this, they won't be feeding into what is not wanted, they will be feeding into what is wanted. However, it can be a lot easier for someone to be against hate than to be loving. When someone is against hate, they can act in a hateful manner and then rationalize their behavior. A cover-up, someone like this can be full of hate, but as they will hate the right people. The right people, according to a certain part of society, they will be oblivious to what is truly going on for them. For someone who is not caught up in what is going on, it could be clear that this person embodies the very thing that they say that they are against. Ultimately, they will have been drawn to this battle because they will be an energetic match for what is going on. But, as they are not fully conscious of their own hate, they will be able to delude themselves into thinking that they are better than those who they are against. Self-deception. What this example does is shines the light on how good human beings are at deceiving themselves. There are so many different defenses available to stop someone from coming into contact with the parts of themselves that are painful. One defense that is often used is something known as projection, and this is where someone will see in another that which they can't accept in themselves. When it comes to hating others, then, this can take place when someone hates themselves. The easier option, thanks to the defenses that they have in place, they won't be able to see that they hate themselves and are loaded up with shame. This part of themselves will then be projected into others, causing them to hate their own reflection. If they were aware of what was going on, it wouldn't be possible for them to deceive themselves. This is why they are unconsciously going what is going on inside them. Deep change. Considering this, in order for the world to be a loving place, it will be essential for the people who inhabit this world to be loving themselves. Through loving themselves, they will be able to be loving towards others. Thus, one can try to change the world by fighting hate, but they won't be anywhere near as effective as they would be if instead they were to deal with their own issues and to be love. The trouble is that the former will be far more appealing to their ego mind, as it will allow them to receive a fair amount of approval, ego love, and to avoid themselves. While the latter won't be anywhere near as appealing, as there won't be much approval involved and will require the ability to face deep pain, something that will only appeal to their true self. Final thoughts. It has been said that we don't come through the world,